What's up, Daily Fab Gamers? Thank you so much for watching my stream. Before we jump into this red-hot action, let's review the rules. Don't be a dick. This should go without saying, but better safe than sorry. Chat with me. You know that I can talk at my computer for hours, but it's more fun when my computer talks back. And let's have a good time. I'm here to get sweaty, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun while I do it. Use the chat command DECK for a link to the list I'm playing here. It's also in the video description. Some of these decks are sick, and you might want to play them in real life. In that case, let me refer you to Hemel from the Bazaar. It's never been more affordable to play in the flesh and blood. Players have been buying the cards they need from Hemel for years. I started shopping from him in 2023 and have never found a better deal. The Bazaar's prices are the lowest for singles, full sets, and class sets, including new releases. Omens of the Third Age set bundles are available now and ship both domestically and internationally. Use the chat command HEMEL for contact info, then reach out on Blue Sky, Discord, email, or Twitter to see what he can do for you. Using the data command will produce a link to Fablazing.com, the best source for deck list, matchup, and tournament data. Do you have too much money? Give some of it to me. Custom channel tokens, as used by 2025 US National Champion and World's 2025 Top 8 competitor Majin Bay, are available from my Ko-Fi. Follow my tournament journey and spam the coolest emojis by becoming a channel member. And remember that channel members get matchup guides, post-game notes, elevated chat privileges, and more. Now settle in and get cozy because the stream begins now. I was all ready to start, and then I realized I forgot my Codex journal. Cause we're doing the thing. We're doing the tournament review. It's my obligatory. Here's why I didn't do as well as I wanted to do, and what we're gonna do better to change it. You know, someday we're gonna have one of these where it's like, yeah, I just fucking won. But I'm not Majin, or even Aurora at this point. Shout out to Aurora over at Flesh and Bad, coming in 39th at US Nationals, playing Marlin. If I had been better at draft, maybe I too would have been able to talk about my successful time at Nationals. Basically, all you need to do to play Jarl well is draft better. But yeah, US Nationals is over. The tournament is concluded. I came in 111th, which means I am indisputably the 111th best player in the United States. Did Aurora beat you? Aurora didn't beat me, but I did lose to a Marlin. Marlin was my CC loss day one. Chandler Toe was playing Marlin and just like demolished me, which we'll get into. Buy your very own Codex journal by using the code Lupine10 in checkout. Use the link in the video description. I have it all written down. Yeah, how I just got demolished by Marlin round 2. Rose, you came in 95th. Congrats. Everyone I talked to did better than I did, which makes me furious. That's why we're turning it around for Vegas. Yeah, so we played Jarl. I mean, first of all, I showed up to Mini on Tuesday before the tournament, so that would have been Tuesday the 9th. For the Metal Fab team house. A bunch of CC games, a bunch of draft, rooming with faces you may know, such as Majin Bay, and no one else, because no one else did well. That isn't true. We had Devin Killebrew came in 29th, I want to say, so made the top 32. Yeah, Rose, I get you. I also want to do better. I'll be running it back in Vegas. I think I'm pretty locked on Jarl for Vegas. I don't think I have time to learn anything new, and the decks that I could pick up before then, I feel like they're going to be pretty well targeted. I'm going to be playing Majin's Acilio list on stream tomorrow, but I think that's like public enemy number 1 going into Vegas is like this specific Aurora Cilio list. So, showed up on Tuesday for the Metal Fab House. A bunch of CC, a bunch of draft. Draft games went well. I do think that my 3-3 draft record in Nationals is probably reflective of how my testing went. But we'll get into that. I 2-1 to day 2. I think I could have 3-0'd it if I had played a little bit better. My day 1 was 1-2, and that was specifically based on not wanting to draft Ziggy. But we spent 3 days testing. Very good testing gets accomplished, working out the Jarl game plan into Marionette, Victor, Gravy. The bulk of our CC testing was Gravy because we had a few teammates who were playing Gravy, so we were getting the most bang for our buck kind of collectively. I'll get into the deck list I pulled up. We're going to do a full deck tech on the list I brought, which is sort of similar to what I was playing for the last 6 weeks on stream, but we made some changes that Tuesday that we were testing throughout the week that are quite different, and I think a lot of the game plans are different, especially into Victor. If you still have your Nationals event coming up, I think Jarl is a really solid choice, but the Victor game plan is different than what I was demoing on stream, and was even different than what I was playing during the Nationals. Like my round 14 opponent was a Victor player who talked me through what I could have been doing in the matchup, and it was way better than what I was doing. But we're doing the testing. The testing's going well. Like I said, the bulk of my games were against Gravy. Scorched Rose is in the chat. Rose, I'm hoping we can set something up for next Thursday. Just do a stream of Jarl Gravy, because it's a really fun matchup. It's really interesting, and if you're playing Jarl at your Nationals, you will need to know how to beat Gravy. I enjoy it. Your win rate is directly proportional to how early you destroy the compass. If you get the compass on turn 3 with 35 health left, you're probably going to win the game. It's very difficult for Gravy to come back from that position. Rose, I was saying I want to pull you on Thursday for Jarl Gravy games, so I can walk people through how to beat Gravy with Jarl. Teaching someone how to play. I want you to collectively teach your Gravy people how to play Gravy into Jarl. Hopefully I destroy your compass before turn 5, or else it becomes a very uninformative game. But we're doing our drafting. Overall, I feel pretty comfy in Omen's draft, and I still do. My one weakness that came back to bite me, like I said, is not knowing how to draft or play Ziggy. I had a deck that was like double Space Dust, blink of an eye, and went 1-2 internally, and just felt like, okay, I'm scared of this deck. I don't want to do it anymore. And that set me up for failure throughout the mine almost mangled my Compass turn 2. I tried to mangle a Compass turn 2. Got the rest of the armor, which I thought like getting Dead Threads was going to matter. It did not. So not being scared off of Ziggy set me up for failure my day 1 draft. But we pulled it back day 2, and I'll get into all of this. This is all the preamble before we get into the deck, but I realized that the preamble is just like, yeah, I was in an Airbnb with a bunch of dudes, and we had a good time playing cards, and then we all played in a Nationals tournament together. So let's get into the actual deck itself. That's the more interesting part of this. You can all see, what did I bring to play, and what was different than what I was testing on stream. So this is the deck that I brought, or rather, this is my personal Jarl list. This is not in the video. No, this is in the video description. Let me update the command so that you can all pull this up and follow along with it on your own. If you want the matchup guides, all of them have been updated in the YouTube membership list. All you have to do is subscribe, get a YouTube membership, and you can get all of the matchups. Every legal hero you will know how to sideboard against with Jarl. So for the most part, a lot of this is the same, right? We have the standard reds that you would expect in a mid-range Jarl list that wants to decompose. 3 CNC, 3 Felling, 3 Mangle, 3 Oak, and 3 Rootbound, 3 Plow, and then we have our blue base. I am on 34 blues, which means that we are playing 11 sets of 3 blues plus Pulse. We did decide to split the Channel Icelock Glaze and Channel Mount Isons. Internally, we couldn't figure out which one of these we liked more, so we hedged towards slower matchups. Channel Icelock Glaze is much better against the aggro heroes that you're trying to tempo down because you can freeze up their arsenal. Channel Mount Ison is much better against the slower heroes that you will want to, I wouldn't say combo kill, but you are looking for endgame alternative win conditions in fatigue situations. So Channel Mount Ison, very good if you could say play that, pitch an Ice Blue, swing your hammer. Your opponent loses 1 point of life. That can be enough to close out a game. But then we have all the old favorites. Autumn's Touch, CLF, Crumbles, Everblooms. A bunch of cards that you probably will never cut as long as you're playing Jarl. Ripple Away being the like spice that we're all playing anyway because we need to be able to do something to Victor Goldbane. No Elemental Strike or Colors of Aria. I don't think you need them. Meeting you on the escalator this past weekend. Get another rant soon. We'll see how I feel after Pro Tour Vegas. Maybe I'll crash out over something there. Or the BNR leading up to Vegas will make me want to crash out. I'm not playing Elemental Strike or Colors of Aria. I think they're just bad cards. Like, Elemental Strike in particular, I think is not good. There are better ways for you to get an Earth into your Banish if you're trying to turn on your Fellings. I play So tomorrow before I played Elemental Strike. Colors of Aria is, like, fine. It just doesn't do a ton for me, especially when you get off Talishar and start playing against good opponents. No one's giving you their armor. So an early colors isn't doing enough to get you your frostbite value. And then a late colors takes up space that would be filled by one of your better reds or a blue that you need for one of your better reds. Love to hear your thoughts on 2 Fi in top 8. Odex, I actually check the channel tomorrow, where I will be posting an interview I just did with Ashlyn Slattery to talk about 2 Fis in top 8. TLDR, Fi happened to be very well positioned into the top of the meta. Basically every deck except for Victor is favored if you have a mid-range plan with Fi. And Victor specifically, enough of them were on a fatigue plan as opposed to like being aggressive and especially playing Test of Iron Grip, that Fi has a very good matchup into Fatigue Victor because Fi can't get fatigued, and Victor without Test of Iron Grip can't really stop you during your combo turn. So you can kind of just wait until the Victor sends like either Titan's Fist for 4 or like Headbutt, something non-disruptive, and then you just pop off and do a 6-card 40 damage turn with Art of Phoenix War. Heading down to the inventory, again, a lot of this is pretty standard. We've got the 3 E-Strikes, we've got Frostfang Pummel. We are on 5 Defense React, 5 non-Rootbound D-Reacts, 3 Shelters for Marionette and Syndra, 2 Sinks for Marionette. I did up the amount of Gravy Hate in the deck. 2 copies of Midas Touch and 1 copy of Pilfer the Tomb is, again, like the worst kept secret as far as Gravy Hate. But Pilfer is very good against Gravy, and I'll get into why it's so good. Especially against a field of Gravies that are not super experienced playing into Jarl. The biggest change I made from the Talishar, from the list I've been using on stream, is 3 copies of Remembrance. This is specifically for Victor. And I'll talk in just a bit about what our plan is into Victor and how it differed from what I was doing on stream. Single copy of Blizzard for Syndra and anything hyper aggro. You would play this into both versions of Acilio. And then we have All of the same sideboard equipment, the one difference being I am now on Rampart of the Ram's Head. That is for Gravy and Marlin. So I think all of this is pretty stock standard. The 3 copies of Mangle are really for Victor, because your Victor plan is to not attack unless you are sending Dominate or Disruption. That's what the 3 Remembrance are for. So basically your Victor plan, and if you're playing Jarl at your Nationals, this is important because Victor is still legal and classic constructed, and he is your hardest matchup that you will run into most often. The Victor plan is you just block out. If your hand doesn't dominate or disrupt, so we're talking CNC Pummel, Decompose Felling, Mangle with Ice Card pitched to Gauntlets of Boreal Domain, and Double Fused Oakenold, and like Tear Asunder Macho Grande, I guess. You just block out, regardless of what Victor does. So let's say your hand is Autumn's Touch, Channel Lake Frigid, Frozen to Death, Fruits of the Forest, Victor sends Titan's Fist. Your line is I am blocking 9 and discarding fruits to gain 2. You do not attack. You do not hammer. You do not attack with Autumn's Touch. You do nothing but block and gain life. And the reason is that you don't want to let Victor clash. You don't want to give Victor gold with Test of Strength, or some of them are on Trounce. You also want to make it very difficult for Victor to filter through his deck to find Visit the Goldman Estate. The Victors that I ran into in the calling were both on, one was on Tech Plating, and I was able to snipe it with a Dominated Mangle. The other was on Fiendal Spring Tunic, and I think they're all kind of moving towards playing Tunic against Jarl. So this strategy works even better because they can't even pitch to their Tech Plating. You just strand them with cards in hand so they can't find the Goldman Estate. Meanwhile, you are thinning your deck to exclusively contain Oakenzolds, Mangles, Crumble to Eternity, and Pulse of Isenloft. And the reason you're doing this is to play 3 copies of Remembrance. The way you beat Victor is by sending big dominated damage until he dies and looping it. The one Victor that I played in the calling, I think I attacked with Double Fused Oakenold 3 times. He was able to block one of them out, but got hit by the other 2. We sent Dominated Mangle. We sent, I think, Terrace under Oakenold. Like, we were just not letting him get value from blocking, and that's your Victor plan. It's still unfavored. Victors can do the same thing to you, where they can block down into exclusively Visit and, like, Golden Sun. And that's why you're only attacking with Dominate. You can kind of do the same thing with Macho Grande. I did play a game on, it's either my Nationals or a side event. I think it was Nationals, where I was taking damage to attack with Macho Grande. And I think that might have been wrong, just because Macho, yes, it's damage, but there's no disruption tied to it. But yes, your Victor plan is just attack with Oakenold as many times as you can and win off of that. The Gravy plan is basically the only matchup. What are you doing to not die or get fatigued or losing to Valda? Valda, I would be on the same plan of just presenting a clean 60 with 3 Remembrances and blocking down into my Oakenolds. I think I'm also playing D-React into her. I'm not Visits, not Valda. What are you doing to not die or get fatigued or losing to Visits? So not dying is just, you're blocking out. You can save your armor for the the disruptive attacks. Like, you have Stalagmite, if you can put them on Pummel. You have just a bunch of armor that you can put in front of a CNC if you think that you are getting CNC pummeled. Getting fatigued, not something I'm worried about. Again, because you have 3 Oakenolds, 3 Mangles, and 3 Remembrances. Between Mangle, Oakenold, Macho Grande, and Terrasunder, you have 21 sources of Dominate in your deck. So I'm really not concerned about Fatigue Victor being able to keep me off of it. And visits, ideally, as much as you are trying to chain disruption, you're also trying to hold disruption for the visits turn. Like, if I can park a CNC or an Oakenold or a Felling or a Pummel in Arsenal, yes, I'm trying to fire them off, but I'm also paying attention to specifically when the visits turn happens. Like, if Victor plays Visit, and I've got a Pummel in Arsenal, but no attack to pair with it, I still might be looking at, like, I'm going to send in Autumn's Touch. I'm going to keep 3 cards back and do Autumn's Touch Pummel. You just try to keep them off of a 5-card hand. Your Stalagmite is pretty much saved for Go Again when they E-Strike or they Rouse you. That's when you can get some points into the disruption too, of giving them a Frostbite so that they can't CNC pummel you at the end of that, or they can't go Rouse into Boulder Drop. You do have counterplay, but yeah, the visits turns are difficult to play around. Like, Victor is still not a favored matchup, but you will get points based on the Victors not knowing what you're doing and playing poorly into you, and just getting themselves mangled and Oakenolded. But yeah, it is still tough. Thought he would be back on 5 since he's been doing well. I'm still happy to be playing Jarl. I'm happy to do the Jarl run back in Vegas. But I do have an interview with Ashlyn Slattery going up tomorrow where she's going to talk about Fi and why he's doing well. I'm going to play the deck on stream, but I don't think that I'm playing the deck for Pro Tour. The Gravy matchup, we added a second Midas Touch and Pilfer the Tomb. This is the one matchup that I'm trying to fatigue because, I mean, we can't kill Gravy, right? You cannot just race Gravy because you will die. So your Gravy plan is blow up the Compass as early as you can with Frozen to Death. Harder to do with Bangle, depending on the Gravy's equipment loadout. Like, Gravy can give you 3 block from hand, 1 block from Tunic, 1 block from Gloves, 1 block from Dead Threads, and a lot of them are playing Carrion Crown, so they can give you 2 block from Head. They are able to block out 7 on a dominated +2 power Mangle. One of my Gravy opponents did that in testing and stopped me from getting the Compass. So you kind of do need to do it off of Frozen to Death. But you're doing that as early as you can. That is your top priority. Regardless of how many allies are on the board, your first priority is Crumble, your second priority is Frozen to Death, and then you will play Ally Cleanup. What would you put the Jarl Victor matchup percentage-wise with the strategy? I think you're at about 40-60 if you're just sending the dominated Oakenolds. You can skill diff it to 50-50 if the Victors don't know what you're trying to do. And it's very dependent on when they see their estates. Do the estates line up with your Ripple-Aways? Are you able to CNC pummel to get their pummels? What if Victor is good and picks up on the strat, just starts counter-stacking using Tectonic? It's much harder with tech plating Victor. You still do the same thing. Like, there's no alternate strategy that you can pivot to. You do just send your Ogans and your Mangles, but you are making it hard for the Victor. If you crumble to Eternity a Victor on, like, put the counter on tech plating, for one thing, it takes 2 of their armor away, which is huge because it means they can't just give you a 3-block boots or a 3-block chest, glove, shield to stop an Oakenold. They have to give you something else, which probably means they're pitching into their quick dodge. But even so, you're getting 2 cards, which is what the Oakenold is trying to get you anyway. You're also opening up the armor slot for your Channel Link Frigids or Pulse of Ice and Loft on like a Rouse or an E-Strike. You can race a bad Gravy. I've seen it done. My problem with racing Gravy is I need to keep Felling, Mangle, Oakenold in my deck for Whaler. And if I'm trying to, like, punch the Gravy until they die, I might run out of gas. If they can keep me from killing them, which they should be able to if they're just playing out allies, and I'm, like, burning fuel to kill the allies instead of, or to kill Gravy instead of the allies, or I have to start giving like my Oakenolds and Mangles for chums, then I just get stuck at the end. I can't deal with the second Whaler, or I can't deal with like a Whaler in the middle of the game. Get complaints about Jarl all the time. I don't feel like good Jarl should be trying to race you. As a Victor player, I would love to test this at some point. The only games I found myself losing to Gravy is when they draw, to Jarls when they draw Natty Fused Oakenolds and CNC Pummel super early. I mean, that is what I'm trying to do, but yeah, the games that I win versus Victor are like a little high rolly from me, but usually they do involve like, here's 4 fused Oakenolds over the course of the game. What are you going to do about it? You only have so much armor. Dealing with Gravy, you are waiting to... Priority 1, crumble the compass. Priority 2, frozen to death the compass. After the compass is gone, you are then looking for what their win condition is. It's probably either Second Whaler or Remembrance 3 Conquerors. The problem with Remembrance 3 Conqueror is they're kind of all doing that. What you're really looking for with this plan, and why you're running 2 Midases and a Pilfer, is you are looking for a second Whaler. You need to know if there are 2 Whalers. Bad Gravies are going to put a Whaler into their graveyard really like turns before they're ready to play it. And that's what Pilfer the Tomb is for. Pilfer the Tomb, the main usage is my Gravy opponent put a Whaler into their graveyard on turn 6 and then tapped their hook. And I say, cool, hold priority, Pilfer Whaler. You get the first Whaler out of the graveyard. Whaler is how the Gravy wants to kill you at the end of the game, of just like sending a bunch of Conquerors at you, making you block out, dropping a Whaler on the board so that you can't immediately clear it, and then just hitting you with it until you die. If you can get the first Whaler, you don't have to worry about that as much. You don't have to worry about like a middle of the game Whaler that you can't deal with, you have to take damage from before you can find a way to kill it. Pilfer just frees you up. It takes the pressure off of you so you can keep like bopping the Chowders and the Sawbones and the Swabbies until the Gravy gets how they're actually going to kill you, which should be second Whaler. And that is why into the Gravy matchup, you are like pitching your Fellings, your Mangles, your Oakenolds, your E-Strikes for the second cycle for when they put the Whaler down. So I would have games in testing where my hand is like Felling, Mangle, Oaken, Autumn's Touch, or that's not a great hand. Let's say Felling, Oaken, Autumn's Touch, E-Strike. And my line is pitch 2 reds to Gauntlets, pitch red blue to Hammer for 4. I just want to keep threat density in my deck so that when we get to the second cycle and the Gravy has played their second Whaler, I always have a way to kill it. I have something in hand that addresses the second Whaler. Scuba is a primo Pilfer target. This is true. It depends on what else is going on. Like, there's a lot of game state scenario. I always want to use Pilfer for the first Whaler if I can, but if I haven't seen the first Whaler and we're getting along in the turns, then I'll just, we'll Pilfer a Scoop, because that is another way that the Gravy doesn't necessarily kill you, but softens you up, is just recycling prismatic ley lines, then getting to a point where they get to throw their 4th, 5th, and 6th prismatic turn, soften you up so that boat does kill you. But the way that I was finding my games going is I would just arsenal a Midas Touch and sit on it, Pilfer a Whaler. Gravy doesn't have a compass, so they have to either go Mage Master's Boot or tip the Barkeep, play Scuba. Yeah, you get a prismatic back, and then I go Tunic, Midas Touch, or Scuba. You get no gold. Hammer whatever the other ally is, the Rigger or the Swabby, whatever. But if you get far enough in the game and they haven't seen it, then you just Pilfer a Scuba. They don't get to Leyline, and you wait for the Whaler to come down with the understanding that you are going to have to just hit it. If the victor knows what they're doing against Jarl, they can park a D-React in Arsenal and play around CNC opponents almost always face up. It is not a favorable matchup. Like, you do just have to high roll a little bit, but thinning your deck down so that you can always Remembrance back dominate is how you need to win that matchup. That's your best way of doing it. This list is not optimized for Victor because my team wasn't aware of that strategy. We didn't crack it, right? So we were trying to trade damage with Victor, still Remembrance back Okins, but we weren't folding every hand that didn't do dominated damage. I think if we had been on that strat, if we had identified what was happening, we probably would not have been playing Frost Fangs and maybe Blizzard. I could have seen cutting these 3 cards and putting in Sigil of Solace so that we have a little more life gain against the Victor. Like, we get a little more value out of folding every hand so that we can drag the game out just a little longer or take just a few more hits to fuse another Oakenold. If you look at Damian Riggins' top 11 deck, he made top 16, came in 11th. He was on the triple Fiddlers, triple Sigil of Solace, and that looks way better into Victor because you can still block down, thin the deck, but also gain life. And we would have been trying to do that too if we had figured it out. Of hitting you with 6 Prismatics, yeah, you gotta be able to. Scoob is an on-site kill. It's like Scoob and Sawbones are your 2 that you just kill. Like, regardless of whatever else is going on, you have to kill them unless what you're doing instead is blowing up the Compass. A good heuristic for your gravy game is if I have over 30 life when I kill Compass, I'm probably going to win. If I have maybe 25-ish life when I kill Compass, it's going to be tough, but I can get there. If I have 20 or less life when I kill Compass, I'm going to lose this game. Unless the gravy, like, really punts, you're going to lose that game because you're too far behind to really catch up with what gravy's going to be doing. You're also, like, maybe your gravy doesn't know how to play without a Compass, in which case you're super up. Like, against Jarl, gravy should be pitch stacking their Saltwater Swells and Back Alley Break Lines to have more action points in the second cycle. They should be playing tip and then giving you gold. Like, if the gravy's on 3 tip the barkeep, it's fine for them to throw out their first tip and not give you a gold because they still need their own gold for their own strategy. But if your gravy opponent isn't giving you gold on the second or third tip, you're already pretty far ahead. If they're playing out swells in first cycle, you're pretty far ahead. If they're called to the graving for back alley and they still have a Compass, you're pretty far ahead. Like, you still need to go through the steps of killing the Compass. The E-strikes are here to help you manage the board. You're fine to fire off early Midases if your gravy has a hot start. The one thing that I never want to do, yeah, Rose, if your Jarl had 20 life and you had 3 allies on board when they got Compass, yeah, no kidding that you won. This is completely believable to me. The one thing you don't want to do with Midas is really kill any ally with a cost of 4 or more. Like, even Midasing a Swabby is kind of iffy. Sometimes you just need to do it to take pressure off yourself. But, like, never Midas a chum. Never Midas the first whaler or a whaler in the middle of the game. What I was noticing from my gravy opponents that I think is just a symptom of not expecting Jarl, which, like, is why we brought Jarl, because it does so well against gravies who aren't prepared for you, is the 2 gravies that I played in the calling and in the side event were only on 1 whaler. And if they're only on 1 whaler, the game gets way easier, because then you don't have to worry about continuing to stack your threats. When the first whaler is gone and you notice your opponent got to their pitch stack and there's no second whaler, just start hitting them. Because then their win con is only Remembrance boats, but they need cards to do it. So you, if you've been doing it correctly, have a second cycle full of Felling, Mangle, and Oakenold, which all say you don't get to keep enough cards to triple boat me. So I'm just going to start going face. But if your opponent has shown you a second Whaler, that's what you're saving cards for, because you need to be able to kill the second Whaler. So you can do it with Midas Touch. Never Midas Touch the first Whaler or a mid-game Whaler if your opponent's on 2, because you don't want them to have the 7 gold to go into the rest of the game. But I had games where I would sit on second Midas. It's like, as soon as you hit that Whaler, it doesn't matter what life total I'm at. If I have enough cards in hand to stay alive, I will Tunic Midas your Whaler and the game ends. Your Gravy no longer has enough pressure to kill you. I'm on 1 Remembrance in the Gravy matchup. I very rarely need it because you just kill them. Like, you either get their Whaler and they have no way to kill you, or you just hit them until you die. If they show you, yeah, I need a 5-card hand and a gold stack to pull this off, you say, cool, Oaken, Felling. Here's 10 damage Mangle. Like, you can get them that way. What else? We play Rampart into Gravy because it's just a little more life over the course of the game. We tried Stalagmite into Gravy and ended up not liking it. The Stalagmite can be good on the Gravy's Prismatic turn, but for the most part, Gravies can play around it. So you're never gonna, like, catch a Gravy who was 1 resource short after you Stalagmited their Prismatic turn. So the Rampart was just really good for, like, you get to pitch Remembrance and get a point out of Rampart, or your Gravy played a Saltwater Swell or a Tipple, so you were Rampart Tunicked to get 1, and then they broke the chain, and you got another point out of your Rampart, or you had a Mangle in your hand that you wanted to pitch to the bottom of your deck for Whaler, but your Gravy didn't give you a good opportunity to block with it, so you pitch it to Rampart. We were also playing Rampart against Marlin. Did not help in my 1 Marlin game because she was just disruptive enough that I couldn't do anything. But the real advantage of Rampart against Marlin is, let's say she hits you with King Kraken looking for non-attack actions, and your hand has 2 non-attack actions in it. You say block with 1, pitch the other to Rampart. Yes, you still get hit, but Marlin doesn't take, she doesn't get gold from you. It doesn't help when they're just chaining disruption. And as my second game went, the problem with this list into Marlin is that all of our Earth cards, except for Everbloom, for the most part, our Earth cards are all attack actions, and all of our Ice cards are non-attack actions. So trying to fuse an Oakenold through King Shark or King Kraken just doesn't work. Like, you can get there, but you have to draw very well. I'll go through, I got my handy dandy Codex journal. Let's go through, let's bring me back up. So you have to focus on me. Let's see, so my round 1 of Nationals. When it's like a 90-10 matchup, it's real bad. Yeah, Aurora, it's so terrible. My first round was against Syndra. We did win this game. I was a little aggressive with my Stalagmite. I should have saved it for better turns, but for the most part, we just tempo them. You send Disruption. Syndra has a hard time blocking. What you really want to do in this matchup is crumble the Flick Knives and then mangle it later. You can also Frozen to Death it, but this game was a little difficult. I never got the Flick Knives, so it was like a real game. I won at 3 life, but for the most part, I was very disruptive. My round 2 was against Chandler on Marlin. Terrible matchup, as Aurora says. It's like a 10-90 for me. I could have won if my opening hand was a little bit better, so I go second because I lose the die roll. My opening hand is Crumble, Oakenold, Shelter. If the Shelter is a blue, then I get to chain Oakenolds, and I think maybe win off of that, but as it was, I Arsenal into Oakenold and then never got to fuse it. I just conceded at 15 to his 29. So I'm like, this game's going nowhere. There's no way I can catch up from this point. Round 3 was against Spellcilio. This was a teammate of mine. I think that his build is a little unoptimized. I definitely did not play this game super well. I missed my opponent having a Ponder, which meant that I would have like not overpitched to AB. I like wanted to filter a felling out of my hand and I just didn't need to. There were some slight misplays, but for the most part I was able to preserve life total to the point that I could never get Striders killed on my turn and then just like got him. But this matchup is very tough, and it's why I want to start looking at changing my list, putting in like Sigil of Solace, AB4 against Acilio. I want to try to fatigue Majin's Acilio list, and then be like basically fatigue both lists and see if I can do it into Majin's without all of my blocking armor. Because fatigue being a viable strategy into both builds takes a ton of mental pressure off of me to have to scout my opponents. Like, obviously scouting is better. If I see it's Majin's list and I'm trying to fatigue, I just put all my D-reacts in. But I have to board against Acilio like it's Spellcilio. I have to do it, because if I present AB4 into Aurora Cilio, I think I can get away with it. If I present AB1 into Spellcilio, I just explode. Like, I cannot win that matchup. The counterburn is so good in that matchup. I had a game on day 2 that I'll talk about where I send a dominated Okanold and the Acilio just dumps their hand. Like, it's all instants. So yeah, I hit them for 9 and took 7 to do it. Like, it doesn't work. 4th round was against a Victor. So this one, I was not on the just block down strat. We were trading damage. But over the course of the game, I resolved 3 fused Okins, 3 Fellings. I think 2 of them were Dominate 10 power. One of them might have just been 8 Dominate. I sniped a Tech Plating that had been crumbled with the 10 power Dominated Mangle. I played 2 Remembrances over the course of the game. I had a very cool line where my opponent clashes with me with a Test of Strength. I respond with a Remembrance, shuffle 3 Okins back into my deck, and then flip 1 on the clash to win the clash. Like, Remembrance is very good in the matchup. I had a Ripple on an Estate. Like, everything just came together. I think I had 2 pummeled CNCs in the early turns. Like, it was definitely a high roll for me, but that is what you have to do in this matchup. And I would not have been able to fuse the 3 Okins or play the 3 Mangles without the Remembrances. So I wasn't on the blockdown plan, but I think it would have gone even better if I had been. For the most part, I just didn't need to. Round 5 was against the Aurora that came up in Carol's Dev Talk article last night. Jordan Johnson's Aurora. This is the freest matchup that I've ever had as Jarl. Like, it really is just, you just beat Aurora. The Redline Slop version, you play AB1. I won at 20 life and still had armor. I could have disrespected my opponent and just given, like, gauntlets so that they would not have killed my Blitz hero with their CC hero. You just kill them. Did some drafts. Like I said, I was punished in my first draft by being afraid of drafting Ziggy. I was one of 3 Auroras, and if I had drafted Ziggy, my deck would have been cracked. Like, double Cosmic, Space Dust. I think I would have had a blink of an eye. Like, maybe a Fraying Life Force, if I'm remembering correctly. I was just afraid of it. So what I'm prepping for Vegas is doing more drafts so that I am comfortable with Ziggy. Because I'm very comfortable with Acilio. And I'm very comfortable with Aurora. Like, Aurora's not my favorite deck to draft. If I can draft anything, it's Acilio. Like, the deck is insane. Aurora is not my favorite hero to draft, but I know how to do it. And I know what I'm looking for to win the mirror, to beat Ziggy, and to handle Acilio. Ziggy's my, like, I don't understand, I don't know, I don't want to play this hero. And so we're going to fix that for Vegas. PT Vegas is also Omen's draft, yes. So I won 2 my day 1 pod, drafted an Aurora that was definitely short on blues, played into one of the 2 Ziggies round 1. I think I could have won this game. I took a very greedy line in order to have an arsenal and just took too much damage to do it. I had a 4-card hand. Within that hand, I had 2 different lines to send a 3-card 10 offensively, but one of the lines says that I get to block Polaris Pulse Ray with a Rush of Power and give my Sanctuary Chest to basically prevent 6 incoming damage. The alternate line uses my hero power, or rather, yes, uses my hero power, sends a 3-card 10, and then arsenals a Rift Breaker. So it was just way worse. Like, I just lost so much life to take a suboptimal line. I think I could have gotten through that. Your day one pod had Michael Hamilton and Chris Iali. I would have said that, wow, Tasha, that meant that you must have done so well. Your record must have been so good, but I also know what Hamilton's day one record was. Yeah, Hamilton and Iali did not do well day one. I do know this. My game 2 day 1 was against Nacilio, who just blew me up. Like, I just never saw my prevention and died. And then my game 3 was the Aurora Mirror. We got to play our 2 0-3 Aurora decks against each other, and I won the die roll, so I got to go second and won off of that. Which put me in 5-3 going into day 2. Not great, but we're still, we were alive for top 8 at that point. Day 2, I drafted Aurora again. This one went much better. I was kind of like, I want to say this was an undisciplined force of Aurora, but it was like the disciplined, undisciplined pick. It was me saying, I understand that I'm doing the wrong thing, but I have a reason for it, and I can justify the decision. So pack 1, pick 1 was between Seeker's Gloves and Red Path of Same Ends. There were other good cards in the pack, but there were no other Runeblade cards in the pack. So I'm either taking the Gloves, which is the correct pick. You stay open, you have your equipment slot, or I take Path of Same End and I send the signal down the river. Don't be Aurora. You have no reason to be Aurora. You should be other things before you are Aurora. So I take the Path of Same End. I make the greedy decision. Pack 1, pick 2. Honestly, I don't remember what else is in this pack besides Red Path of Same Ends. I remember there is another Aurora Signal. Like, this pack is not so cut and dry that I just take the Runeblade card and call it good. But again, I'm like, we'll just keep cutting Aurora. Like, I'm already walking this path. Let's just continue to do it. So I take Red Path of Same Ends, pack 1, pick 3. The only card in the pack that I remember is Yellow Electron Jolt Step. I think, well, now there are no Aurora Signals left in this pack. Like, this is the best card. Let's do it. We'll send the signal, and then pack 1, pick 4 is Yellow Jolt Step. And I think, okay, we are, 1, continuing to send the signal. 2, I am in the right seat. I was a 1 of Aurora. This pod was 4 Acilio, 3 Ziggy, 1 Aurora. My deck was absolutely insane. It was actually very hard to draft the deck, and I made some bad choices because I was like, every pack just had fire. Every pack had a great red attack, to the point where I'm having to tell myself in packs 2 and 3, draft blues. You need blues. You have 1 costs in your deck, you have 6 Jolt Steps, you have 2 Cinching Flow Strides, you have an Electron Mind Meld. You need blues, or else you will not be able to play the game. So I'm having to pass like red Singeing Flow Strides to get a blue so that I can actually play my deck. It was so insane for me. My pack 3 was between the Lightning Flow Chest, Red Path of Same Ends, and Red Jolt Step. So I take the chest. The wheel is Path and Jolt Step. They both came back. My deck was nuts. Unfortunately, I went 2-1. I paired into one of the 3 Ziggies round 1 and won at 18 health. I just blew him up. My second game was against Andrew Lorenz, who is also on Ziggy. For one thing, he won the die roll and got to go second, which hurt me. But 2, I just missequenced. I got back-to-back triple-gated by a Vin, punted against a Kasai, got utterly destroyed by Mara Ferris. The hardest roads, Tasha. God gives his strongest soldiers his hardest battles. I was one of 2 Acilios in my pod and wish I had picked up on that a bit more to draft more attacks to beat Ziggy. Yeah, that's fair. One of the hardest things about drafting Acilio is being able to beat out your Ziggies, especially if you're a 3 of Acilio. Being the 2 of is a little easier. Kind of depends on what their hate is. So my game against Andrew, like, it was very difficult. He drafted a very good Ziggy deck. Like, there were good Ziggy cards going around. The 3 of Ziggy's definitely should have been 3 ofs. If they had been 2 ofs, their decks would have been absolutely cracked. Like, if we'd been a 4-2-2, both Ziggy decks would have been really good. As it was, his deck was still great. I missequenced at the end of the game. Like, the hand was Quick Succession, Arcanic Crackle, Voltbind Duality. So how I'm supposed to sequence this is Quick Succession, Crackle, Closed Chain, Quick Succession, Duality, Scorpio. And I punted. I went Quick Succession, Duality, which already doesn't work because it means I don't get to attack with Scorpio. But his hand is exactly blue, Duality, Cosmic Space Dust, and I am at 5. So he gets to discard Duality, deal 1, make a flow, Space Dust, Ziggy Aphroditeus to shoot me for 1, then shoot me for 2, and then when I hit him and trigger the ward, I take 1 and die. So already I've screwed up because I forgot his pitch stack. I forgot that he had a Space Dust in his deck, but I also just punted it where if I sequence correctly, just again, ignoring his pitch stack entirely, if I just play the turn correctly, he has to block with his Duality because his other 3 cards are all instants, and then he dies. He cannot make the flow that he needs to flicker the dust to kill me. And then my round 3 is against an Acilio either way, but between 4 Acilios, they're all having to play attacks. And I do have hate. I have 2 red Calm Fails, so I'm able to just and 6 Jolt Steps, so I'm able to just get there off the back of having flow and having prevention. So I would have 3-0'd my pod, I think. As it was, I 2-1'd. Honestly, fine. If I had 2-1'd both of my pods, I would have felt really good about it. But the fact that I 3-3'd my 2 drafts, I don't know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. If I had 2-1'd my first pod, 2-1 my second would have felt much better. So we go into our CC games. I'm X4. I am dead for top 8, but I'm alive for top 16, which would have been a world qualification. I play into my only gravy of the weekend, and I, dog walk this gravy. I sniped the Tunic, the Compass on turn 4, and I think I'm at 33. They drop a Whaler into their graveyard on turn 6. And I immediately pilfer it. Like, I IP'd a pilfer from my previous turn. Just because I didn't need to give it. Like, I'll just hold on to this. Why not? Like, they didn't attack me, and I had already gauntleted some things. Like, I'll just hold on to a pilfer. And they discard the Whaler to a gravy, and then tap Hook, and immediately pilfer the Whaler. And they told me after the game, oh, this was my only way to get rid of the Whaler. Like, I couldn't get rid of the Whaler any other way. And in my head, I'm like, just IP it. Like, especially because they only had 1 Whaler in the deck. Like, you just IP the Whaler. You wait until you can get rid of it somehow. You cannot offer your Whaler to me this early. I also had my Midas touches. I know 1 hit a Scoob. I think 1 hit Sawbones, because it was like they got a double ally turn, a Sawbone Swabby, and so I had to kill. Exactly, Rose, that's what I'm saying. You just IP it. So I had to Midas the Sawbone so that I could kill the Swabby, and I didn't want to Midas the Swabby to get them another gold. I actually almost lost this game because I was pitching my threats away, expecting the second Whaler. Like, in my head, like, there's no way you give me Whaler on turn 5 if you don't have a second Whaler. So I'm just going to keep pitching these reds. I'm going to make sure that I have something to kill Whaler when you eventually drop the second one. And my opponent is digging for Remembrance so they can triple boat me. I was at 12 when this game ended. So if my opponent had triple boated me, I think I just die. Like, I will not have the block value available to not get killed by triple conk. But my Gravy's second problem is, in order to find the Remembrance to boat, they are burning their gold. So they're using their gold to draw into the Remembrance to play it to get the conks back so they can boat me, but without the gold, they don't have a way to do it. Like, they cannot produce enough resources without all that gold to actually play 3 boats in one turn. And if they're just doing 2 boat, I'm like, cool, here's the hand. I'll take 4. You're not going to play the 3rd boat next turn. That's fine. So I should have been tracking pitch better in this game, just to note that my opponent didn't have a second whaler, in which case I would have started attacking them sooner. As it was, they conceded the game at 22 life. I think expecting me to start hitting them, which I would have done. I was just very surprised that they didn't have a second whaler for giving me the first one that early. Yeah, whaler is never hitting the yard. You can do it if you have a second one. You either force me to have the pilfer, or if you find the space for it, like if I don't have pilfer and you find the space, you just deploy a like turn 8 whaler and say, got a mangle? Got an Oakenold? I haven't seen a fearless yet. Do you have a way to kill this? Because sometimes the answer is no. And now you just have a whaler on the board. But yeah, if you only have one whaler in your deck, just IP it. Like, you have to get rid of it somewhere. You have to keep it in your deck somehow. So we beat the Gravy. This is my last win of day 2. We pair into Ospelio. I just didn't find disruption. Like, I fused 2 Okens. One of them took cards, the second one did not. They had a handful of 4 instants, so they just get to dump the hand. This Acilio game, plus testing with Majin in-house, is why I feel like I need a fatigue plan for Acilio, and I need it to work on both versions. I need to board for Ospelio. I cannot bring AB1 into an unknown Acilio and just hope it works out. I need to be playing AB4, and I think it has to be AB4. I was playing AB3 No Oasis into my Ospelios this weekend, and it didn't work. Like, they deal too much incremental chip damage, and I'm playing a bunch of reds because they're my good attacks. They're how I kill people. So I just take too much damage over the course of the game, and then I get murdered by it. Like, if I find disruption, I'm good, but not all of my disruption works, because they can dump hand into Oaken, Frostfang, Pommel, even Tear Asunder. So I need a fatigue plan, and this game really showed me that. Next, I played into a Victor. I did lose that game. This is the Victor who taught me about folding hands. The game started well enough, but after my first remembrance, I just didn't find enough disruption. And I think it was too liberal with my use of the remembrance. I played my first one for an Oaken and a Mangle. My second one was an Oaken and a CNC. I think the heuristic here is don't play a remembrance unless I am getting back 2 Oakens. Because I always have Gauntlets of Boreal Domain. I can always pitch a remembrance. Like, getting an extra remembrance out of my hand is not hard. And I want them in deck. I need to be able to find Okens. Yeah, but this was my opponent who was familiar with my side of the matchup of just dump hands every turn. Fold hands if I'm not doing something impactful, and I agree. This was the show of yeah, if I had just preserved more life and waited for the Okens, I would have been much better off. And my last game of the weekend was against Rhea, one of Majin's students, who was playing his same Acilio deck. This game was much closer than it had any right to be, because Rhea gave me Gone in a Flash early. It was in the arsenal. I threw a CNC. They didn't have the block to stop it, so they just give up the Gone. The next Gone was in the bottom 10 cards of the deck. They were just blowing me. Every turn was just, I'm taking too much damage. I was just getting killed by Majin's deck that does 4-card 16s kind of consistently. Molt, was that you? Were you the victor? Were you the victor who taught me about this matchup that I will not need to know for Vegas? It was funny. It did make me laugh. I'm like, wow, now I have this great plan that I don't ever get to use ever again. Yeah, but this Sicilio deck is just hitting me for like 16 every turn. I'm not disrupting back. And then eventually, yeah, we like get down to, oh, hey, Rhea. Awesome. Yeah, this game was like, we were just hitting each other with pool noodles, except that your pool noodle was like good. And I just like kind of slowly died. I overreacted and blocked with a tunic at one point, not realizing just how little arcane is in this deck. Thinking like, oh, I gotta get my block value now while I can, and I really didn't need to, and giving the tunic meant that I did not get to send a mangle ahead of being grieved. I don't think it would have mattered, Rhea, because you had enough block value in your hand. You could have given me 2-3 blocks and then just had like gone and 2 instants, and I didn't have the life total to stop you. Thinking back, I had a turn where I could have frozen to death your Greaves, and I should have done it, and then I should have said, I'm just going to fatigue you. Like, you don't have enough cards left in your deck, I'm just going to block everything, and without Greaves, you can't kill me. I think that's what I should have done, but I don't know how much life I had when I saw the frozen to death. I'm pretty sure that's what I was supposed to do. So, we wrap up our Nationals event. I am 8-7, which I get to go positive for the weekend, which is great. I actually played out my Nationals, which is not something that I did last year. I regretted it since then. Last Nationals, I went 5-3 day one. Said, you know what? This is a little iffy. It's going to be really hard for me to actually like close out this game. Or it's going to be hard for me to like actually convert with this. I'm going to feel bad about all my losses. Like, I'm just going to go play the calling. And ever since then, I've regretted it. So I'm proud that I played out my my Nats event. I'm proud that I went positive. Even being like the hold on, I want to set up a Talishar game. Like, it feels good being the third best Jarl, for as much as that's like kind of a weird distinction. But so I feel proud to have played out my. I'm the 111th best player in the United States. Like, I feel good having played it out, but I do feel like I can do better, and I'm excited to do better in Vegas. I think I'm locked on Jarl. I'm going to keep workshopping the deck. I have ideas of how I can make the deck better, how I can fatigue both Acilios, how I can still have game into Syndra and Marionette, how I can deal with fives that I might be running into. We're going to run it back. It was rough because you would have taken a bunch of extra damage to use the Frozen, and I could have probably scraped it back with Rabble Remembrance endgame. I remember, I think I mangled you instead. Like, I had the Frozen to Death hand. I don't remember. I don't remember how much damage I would have taken to do it. As I recall, it would have been not that much. It might have been like an extra 3. I'm not happy about 95th for my first Nats, but I'm happy I went positive. Yeah, we could have done better. We could have done better, and we will do better. For anyone who wants to play Victor into my Jarl, I just threw a game up in Comp CC on Talishar. Come click the button. It says I'm looking for Victor Goldmane. So come do it. I'll try this strat into you. Again, noting that it is suboptimal, because I'm not on Fiddler's Green or Sigil of Solace, and if I was, then this would be much better. But we can give it a shot. Let me do this now. There we go. I will go first. Press the Victor button. Going first here is fine. I need to change my sideboarding slightly and get D-Reacts in. Hi, Rhea. Good seeing you again. Excited to see you in Vegas. I was telling Majin that one of his students beat me, and he was very proud of you. What's up, Lee? Apparently Talishar does have to reset at some point, so we might just not be able to finish this game, but... you're going to end your turn. I want to do this one. And see how our victor feels about it. I'm going to do this one and see how our victor feels about it. I'm not going to go down to one ever. I'm not going to go down to one card. Something for go again. I could give Stalagmite here if I wanted to, like if I really wanted to stop this. But I think I'm fine just blocking with Sink and sinking the Everbloom. Just thin out the deck. What's up, Taylor? I mean, we're still up a life. My Decompose is looking okay. I get to... Oh, our Victor did not Arsenal. Alright, if you did not Arsenal, that tells me that you have a Clash card in hand. So we are going to... just pitch away Channel and Arsenal Plow Under. So this is now interesting, depending on what they... Well, there we go. Ah, we found the Test of Iron Grip. Need a karaoke meta-analysis. So we're giving her Crown here. We are going to sink this. The question is, how greedy do I want to get? If I block with Mangle and I find blue on top of my deck, then I'm still fine. If I find a red on top of my deck, I can't do the Fused Oaken. We're definitely doing Crown. I guess this is fine. If I find a blue, though, I just set the Mangle. And I'm kind of chilling. Also, if we get pummeled, this works less well. So we are going to discard... hold on. I want to discard my Oaken Old. So that I can remembrance it back. And then we are just on Felling. That was not super good for us, that Victor just nattied into the CNC pummel. Also that we didn't find a blue. So far, this is not going well for us. But I do get to CNC pummel. Now it's less interesting, so I think I'm on block 9 here. And then gain 2 off fruits. We could have done CNC pummel. I mean, we still can. I would just kind of rather save it for when I actually have something to CNC. You're going to send E-Strike Go again. I am happy to give you Stalagmite here. Let you figure out how you want to convert this. I'm fine getting a Tunic. I'm just going to IP this Ripple away. I don't think we need to be aggressively. That's what I learned from playing this matchup. We don't need to be aggressive because we don't want to let them block. Like, look at my baby Felling. They got a gold off of Test of Strength. Like, me just attacking with damage makes it easy for Victor to do the thing that Victor wants to be doing. CNC Spinal. This is not going super well, honestly. Getting into it, though. Like, we have had a very slow start, and they are having a very strong start. We're just blocking 6 here. Like, I really wish this was a 3. Yeah, that's... We cannot attack unless we have Dominate. Not being able to CNC pummel here is rough. Victor's showing me the 2 reds. I mean, for one thing, they had to. And then we get trounced. Like, Lee, this is why we can't just... this is why we can't just, like, attack randomly. Because good Victors are running clashes into us. We need to be aggressive, but I can't give the Victor value. Like, that's the problem here. Like, it doesn't help that I'm also not drawing super well. Like, just also remember, this is not favored for us. Woof. We're also... This is not going well. We are not drawing well this game. This is not a game that I would look at and say, yeah, this is pretty indicative of how this matchup needs to go. Like, things are not... This is going poorly. We just cannot, like, get turns to line up. Also, oh, we're losing this game. Like, this game is over at this point. Like, we'll see if we can turn it around. I'm going to play it out. At this point, we get to go Remembrance, pick up the 3 Okins that we've seen and not been able to fuse. Like, we are low rolling this game. We are going to root bound this, and then we're going to send our Macho. What's interesting is they haven't seen an estate yet, so like they're also not drawing well. We'll run it back with them after this if they're willing to take the rematch. Let's see. Let's see if we can turn it around. Hey, they found it. Now we start to lose. Now we're super dead. I wish this pummel was not in my arsenal so I could actually pummel this plow. That's pretty good. I mean, this is where we die, right? They've intentionally not arsenaled, so I can't even get them on like a plow under. We'll do our best, but this game seems pretty over. Let's see. We just fold the hand. We'll take 7 here. Victor's... just like can't find anything to do. It's so brutal. Okay, we're finding pummels, though. Fang is at 6. Beat him up, Rose. Get him. Alright, surely. Oh my god. We just can't find anything. We just can't find anything to do. Where were our Okins? So this is why I think this list is definitely not optimal. Like, if we had fiddlers and if we had sigils here, then this strat would work better. But that's why we didn't come up with the just blockout strat. Which, like, definitely screwed us up. Just CLF and pass. I wonder if I was supposed to arsenal the CNC for when I find a pummel. That would have been better for me. Got the whole hand on a cranial crush. This tells me what I'm probably doing here. Is blocking 9. We're just going to gain 2 and then arsenal a sink. I need to get rid of this remembrance. We'll probably, depending on what they do, I'm like looking to sink the remembrance. And block with the ripple. I keep the imposing so that if I find a blue, then I'll just find a crumble. And I believe what I'm crumbling is actually the gloves. Instead of the tunic, like as much as I want the tunic, the Iron Fist is how they block, how they give me like shield, Iron Fist, quick dodge, and a 3-block to cover the Oaken. So I am going to crumble the gloves. And we arsenal the Oaken. Still not giving our opponent the opportunity to pitch. This hand confused an Oakenold. Show me 2 blues. So if I give you Stalagmite, So I'm thinking this might be like a Spinal Crush. In which case they'd be able to play it. They do have the tunic. I think I'm saying no blocks on this and just waiting to see what they have. They could have like pummeled me, I guess. I just want to see what... Okay, it's Command and Conquer. It's CNC holding a blue that they're probably not playing. Which means I can make this block and fuse the Oaken. Which I think is what I'm supposed to do. As much as I don't want to give Stalagmite here, I believe this is the good line. We do have Earth, so I can arsenal the Rootbound. They stay off Arsenal. We get to go Oaken, fuse, fuse. I suppose I arsenal the Rootbound instead of the Channel Lake. Because I do have all the Earth that I need. I'm wondering if they're going to Titan's Fist, or if they're going to hammer me, or if they're just going to Arsenal pass. Oh, I'm looking for this one, Austin. I specifically requested it. Sundor dominated Mangle here. Sadly, I cannot make it 10. If I had swapped the Arsenal, if I put the Channel Lake and had the Root Bound in hand, I would have been able to send this for 10. Showing a crumble on top, which I don't like showing them that I have a crumble, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm going to get to keep this Channel Lake around. We find the pummel, so hopefully what I can do is like block 7 here, play Channel Lake, Arsenal, pummel. Yeah, Austin, this is our second game against this person. The last game we did nothing and then I conceded. Like, just nothing happened all game. This game, we're actually, like, doing stuff. But we did get pummeled a lot last game. It's true. So here, we are setting up our own pummel. What's weird, Austin, is that they're on Tunic and also a bunch of Clash cards. Like, they have shown, in the last game, they showed us Strength, Iron Grip, and Trounce, and Pummel. Like, they just have so much brick potential in their deck. I will 100% pummel this Felling. Especially because I get to do a very cool line of play Felling, pitch Ice, bottom Everbloom, pitch Ice, play Pummel. So I get to keep my Channel Lake around as well. Do I have any proactive method of destroying equipment? My only proactive I have Frozen Death and Mangle. And the reason I put a counter, I intentionally crumbled the Iron Fist instead of the Tunic, because I am never intending to hit with the Mangle. I want to keep them off of being able to give me 1 card and armor to stop an Oakenhold. We just say no blocks here. No, my fruits. So now I get to take the fun line. See how they get, how do they block this? We go banish, 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 bottom. I get to try to slow them down ahead of their this turn. I like when you show me a Goldmane estate. Are you gonna bottom it? Are you gonna bottom your own Goldmane? Or are you gonna give me a gold? Hey, we're so up. And I get to keep them from going even bigger on this turn. And we have a plow under, so if our opponent does not ditch the arsenal, then we just get it anyway. And we still have our Channel Lake out. This game is going much better for us. This Remembrance is a little early, so we are going to pitch this one. Oh, they just end the turn. That was our first pummel, so we could break gold here to try to find second pummel. I think that's greedy. I think we're just on gauntlets. We do have enough earth. We're just on gauntlets, send plow. The difference not drawing like Ass can do. To be fair, we have been on the same strategy, right? We're making the same types of decisions of how to navigate this game around thinning our deck. But yes, we have not drawn like ass. Our opponent has also drawn fairly well, I want to say. Losing the 2 clashes is unfortunate, but also given what we know about our opponent's deck, it's like, that makes sense. But yes, this game is going significantly better for us. We definitely have better variance this game. Now I get to CNC pummel. Our opponent doesn't have great armor. We even snipe a Might on the Clash of Bravado. Fucking Ripple. We get to do the thing. Snipe a pummel. Ooh, and we get a Golden Sun. Yeah, we're very far ahead this game. But we've been making the same decisions. The same types of decisions. Now we have a choice. I believe I am breaking my gold here to try to find an ice card. I'm trying to think if we need to pitch the plow under to find an ice card. Which does make this turn a little worse if we miss. All right, we get Remembrance. So we are just going to... We're not dominating this, but I am sending 10. We are threatening, at this point, Shield. I was looking for the ice card so I could dominate this. But as it is, we're still asking for a lot from our opponent. We've also dumped the hand so that we can't get Iron Gripped. Opponent loses the first trounce. Okay, so nothing happens. Thing on Pulse and Arsenal that I really wish was not there. Alright, this Remembrance we do need to play, because this is Remembrance number 3. So we are just going to pick up probably Felling Oaken Old Pass. I don't want to fill my... I don't want to play this Remembrance, period. But I also don't want to get... I don't think I want to play it for just a single Oaken, but maybe I do. Oh, you know what? We get back Oaken Crumble. We don't need the Felling here. And I will happily crown away this Pulse if I get the opportunity. If they get hit, we take their shield. If they don't have a 4-block in hand, then they have to give us something anyway. Like, they might just give us... Oh, they're going to give us Tunic Quick Dodge. Which is still, like, fine, because I open up an armor slot. Sure, let's play a Remembrance. We pick up Oaken Crumble. I don't want to fill my deck with too much junk. Real winners draw well, night and day difference, baby. That's what the practice is for. See what our Victor can do to us. I get to fuse this Oakenol, but I have to keep 4 cards to do it. I could give Crown and a 3-block if I need to, and like, hope. Opponent goes for buff power. We just say no blocks. remembrancing back. I'm guessing 2 gold mains. Let's see if they want to pick up another card. Gold main, CNC. So I don't love this from them because similar to what we're doing, they need to thin their deck. I don't think CNC does a lot for them right now. Just going to gain my 1. I believe now I don't need to. It's interesting because I don't need to crown away this remembrance. I can just pitch it. Like, I think my line here might just be take 4. We're going to get a little greedy to keep pushing. And then we just rip the Oaken because we're the greatest players of all time. No, our crumble. Oh, but okay, but they reveal that. Okay, we're up. We're doing it. We just send big ol' Oaken. Opponent has a test of strength on top that they showed us, which they're going to get to use to block this. They win the clash because they're the greatest players. We know they're showing a CNC. We are going to close chain and then play our remembrance. Get back. Oaken. We're fine. Arsenal our Ison, and then we get to play another Oakenold. So this is what the deck does when we're doing well. When everything is going the way it's supposed to, we get to play a bunch of Oakenolds. So we played how many Oakens that game? 4? And they were all fused? How much time do we have left? Let's do another. Let's see if we can find another Victor game. Because you see what we're doing. Also, these games are fast because we just hit each other a lot. You know, as it so happens, we don't play Guardian. We're just beating each other up. Why does this list have Heart of Ice in it? Yeah, Austin, get in here. Get in here. If you're gonna get in here, I'm going to grab my other Jarl list. Is this tech for you? Can this beat you? I think this should be okay. Classic constructed, private. Alright, the gardeners are here. Sorry, everyone. Now it gets loud. Alright, so the Victor list. Let's see. I think I want to go first. No, I think I want to go second. So this is a little wrong for Victor. This is something that I'm working on kind of internally. Don't tell anyone. Oh wait, I need remembrances. So like this list only has 2 remembrances. It does not have pummels in it. Like this is definitely a post-Victor list, but I think we'll be okay. Definitely not ideal. I would not be playing this for a Nationals event, but it's at least a little closer to what I'm trying to do. I'll send a CNC here. Get punished by Trounce. You're going to show me a yellow and a red? You're going to show me that you get just blown up by stalagmite here? Oh, because you had the thing. Yeah. All right. Never mind, I get blown up. Just top our pulse for when we draw our Oakenold and we're so up. Just be good. Just be good at the game. Play the Sink. Take R5. Play Sigil. Go Oaken. Sadly, I have Coronet, Peak, not Crown, which is going to be an issue for me later. This is where our opponent benefits from playing all the blocks, because we did not crumble the tech plating. Yeah, but it doesn't always work, Rose, because now we have to deal with... Now we need to find the second one. The second one needs to be good, too. And because we're only on 2 remembrances, not 3, I do need to play this one. Earth count is bad. We might be, I think we're on block with Pulse. Block with Crumble used Pulse. No, we don't want to do that. We do this. We play Sink. Gonna miss Victor when he goes. That makes one of us. I'm just gonna Arsenal this Remembrance. Try to hold it if I can. This list also doesn't have Ripple Away. All right, this was not the right game to play. All right, we're pulling up a better list for this. There was too much that we didn't have in that list. Whoops. Rose, please. Please beat up the victors for me. Alright, I'm sorry I played that game. I didn't realize just how unoptimized that list was for Victor. It has the sigils and the fiddlers that I want, but it doesn't have anything else. Not having ripples, not having crown. Turns out, that's very bad. I'm going to try this one more time. I hope you're all seeing what I'm trying to get at here. Even if I'm not executing it well on stream. Oh yeah, Victor does take Miller's with him. That's fun. Clash of Bravado here. We're going to pretty heavily telegraph that we have a pummel, but I kind of can't get around it. I think I'm okay to IP this root bound. Like, if Victor just shoves his hand in front of this, I'm okay with it. Because I would have been able to decompose it. Get 2 reds. Love to see it. Our crumble. The cards that we find instead are not great. So we just go block, block, block. What did we say? We dump the hand. We are intentionally thinning the deck and not giving our gravy opportunity to attack us. All right, Rouse shows me 2 bad cards. So we'll give you Stalagmite here. Force you to pitch your entire hand to Tech Plating Hammer. Which I guess means we didn't need to give Stalagmite. We're going to take 4 here. This is where I might not be playing this matchup correctly. Maybe I am not supposed to send the Macho. And I'm just supposed to, like, block 6 Arsenal Channel Lake. Certainly interesting. Like, maybe I'm taking the only send Dominate or Disruption too literally, and Macho just isn't worth it. Though I do like whittling down Victor's life total. All right, this is Remembrance number 1. I'm hoping when they take away Miller's, they'll have to turn Pleiades into a real hero. Truly. E-Strike for buff power. So we have a couple lines here. We could send a Baby Felling. But I think that might be worse than, like, blocking 6, discarding fruits, cycling Pulse. Or we could Arsenal Pulse. I don't hate that here either. Do our ability. And we're just going to wait. We're going to find a root bound. Big ol' Boldy Drop. Big ol' Boldy Drop says that we are playing this Pulse. Because I am going to have my Tunic that'll let me plow under. Earth, action. I think plowing here is fine, as opposed to cycling it with gauntlets and arsenaling the sink. Turns on my Greaves, my Well-Grounded. We're being disruptive. We're getting whatever was in Victor's arsenal. Oof. I don't want that remembrance. All right, that's remembrance number 2. So we have a few lines. I think we're blocking 6. I'm pitching Remembrance to Gauntlet, and I'm arsenaling the Oakenold. I don't think I need to aggressively crown here to find Fuse, because it would need to be a crumble or a pulse. We've just played a pulse, and we've seen multiple crumbles. We will need to play our next Remembrance. Unfortunate. All right, the CNC here is not bad. Block with crown, bottom this. Play your Remembrance, get back single gold main. Yeah, get back singular estate. I need to disrupt them, so I don't think I'm allowed to play this Remembrance, unfortunately. I mean, we'll see what their blocks look like. 1, 2, 3. Bottom and imposing. Let's see how they block this. All right, now I'm going to pummel them so that their turn can't be that good. Only have 1 card in hand. Did you see them giving me two cards there initially before they undid blocks? How cool would that have been? I get to felling again. I think we're just blocking 9 here. Much as I don't want to, I would have loved to play this Rootbound and send another felling. But as it is, I think we take too much damage to send this felling, and it's just not worth it. You send a Macho, that's fine. I can be defensive. We're gonna sink our, probably Mangle here. Play a Rootbound. Earth action, cover the 8. My line is going to be play imposing. Find a crumble. This is going to let me shuffle. I also get the tech plating. And we arsenal. I have to let that resolve, unfortunately. I'm looking to block with my shelter here. I guess I'm plowing here and I'm just sad about it. Wow, rude. I have a few lines. I could play the Frozen to death. I just think it is the wrong decision. If I had a better hammer, then I'd be happy to play Terra Sunder, but unfortunately I don't have a Guardian attack. So we do need to plow here. You can go Gauntlets first. I'm just going to IP this crumble. Try to find an Oakenold. Pleiades will be a fatigue slop deck and people will like it. Rootbound, Plow, Imposing. Get rid of their arsenal. Test of Strength is incredibly rude. I do like that I have an Oakenold on top of my deck. Cool. See what their turn looks like. I will do some blocking here, much as I don't want to. Surely our opponent is not so good as to find the next Test of Strength. Let's see. All right, so we're getting 2 cards. And then we're just getting Cranialed for 9? Oh my god. This here is pretty good. Turns out. And then we don't find Oakenolds. I think I just continue to IP this crumble, much as I don't want to. Interesting. I'm going to play the Channel Lake. I'm going to IP the Ripple, because I'm suspecting that we have a Goldmane coming up. Which is maybe wrong. It's unfortunate that we didn't draw anything good that turn. Yeah, 1 turn off. 1 card off of the Oaken draw. Cover our 9. We get to set an Oaken. Not able to fuse it. Give me 2 blues. Think we're losing this game, team. Does Pleiades play Miller? Fatiguities does, yeah. And it's really fun and everyone loves it. Yeah, we're losing this one. We needed more pressure after the Remembrance. But unfortunate. Might have been my fault for IPing that crumble. I think we would have been able to Oaken there. Get 1 more. See if we can pull it together. I think I want to go first, so I can filter better. I'm very excited to not have to worry about this matchup for Vegas. might just be getting CNC'd here. Or tech plating hammered. Which this damage I'll take because I get to send Mangle for 10. Oh wait, no I won't. Just go block, block, play crumble on the tech plating. That's the right decision. Give our Mangle some text. Woof. That's not good. So I'm looking to block with these possibly. Yeah, we have to go block, block. Pitch a Remembrance to Gauntlets. Pitch a Remembrance to CNC. Get to send CNC with Dominate. Yep. The Remembrance shows up too early. Double Remembrance hands are back-breaking. They're so bad. It's so unfortunate having to play 3 Remembrances and drawing 2 in the same hand. Very unlikely, but when it happens, it's like so catastrophic. Very excited to not have to play 3 of these anymore. Whee! Ooh, I do like getting Rouse out of my opponent. Get an Oaken that I can't play. I will Ripple this. Because it's very important. We'll Root Bound here. Question is, am I filtering here? Like, am I using my Tunic to just ditch a Felling, probably? I think I'm not. I think I'm just passing. We Arsenal the Oaken. One says Rouse, shows me 2 blues. Which I think means that I'm supposed to play Pulse. And possibly look at Felling here. I don't think I Stalagmite this. Just cover it out. Just reset. Would have been nice to send Oakenhold there, but I'm not going to take 16 to do it. Or I guess 13. Like, I don't want to be at 24. My opponent still has a ton of armor. We'll just reset. I have to play this Remembrance. Ugh. So unfortunate that we drew 2 of them that early. So unfortunate that Victor exists and we need to do this strategy to win a game. Now we're going to have to deal with the mites as well. Like, ugh. Just sad. Can only get away with this because I know that my opponent is not on pummel. This is the benefit of internal testing, is that you know that your opponent is not going to pummel you. You can make plays that you would not make in the tournament setting. Be cool if I could draw a hand that did something. But sadly, short on ice cards. Like, I guess I could send Mangle here, but it doesn't dominate. So I'm just putting myself in a position where I get hit. Just stay on the strat, thin the deck. Which means I was actually supposed to block with that imposing. Yeah, I was just supposed, well, wanted to do it so I could filter the card out of my hand, or else I would have gotten stuck with the root bound. Maybe that would have been okay. I think I am keeping my entire hand, and I'm going to tear asunder Oakenold. No, that's very greedy. We're not going to do that. We just block 6. Oh, oops. I believe I am IPing this crumble. I don't need to, because I still have crown. So I could arsenal it. Four blocks are pretty good. Show me a root bound. My opponent did not win the clash. It's also nice because they would have to bottom their own remembrance. I'm just going to arsenal my crumble. That'll work. Let's see if we can find something to use this pummel with. Still have 2 CNCs in the deck, so I think I'm on block, root bound. That'll work. I do need to play this. We are bottoming a pummel. Much as I don't want to, it's fine. Better to foul. I mean, there's a world where I don't do this, but I don't think it's the world that we live in. It's fine. We'll want that pummel later. We win the clash. Opponent makes us re-clash. We will now lose the clashes. But the plow under on top is not bad. I assume we're just getting boulder dropped. We'll just block 6. We gain 2 on our turn. I do get to fuse this Oaken. It comes in with go again. Let's see what we can catch him with. I think we're fine with Grindstone. And our line is going to be Tunic, Oaken, Fuse. We can pummel it. Otherwise, we're blocking with the pummel. I don't love that. We wanna clash. You draw a Spinal Crush. Yeah, let's go ahead and pummel this. Let's take our opponent's turn. Wait. Oh, I see. I did it. I had to click submit. I am, in fact, the third best US Jarl. It's true. We go... I need to play this Remembrance. We sink, we do not sink. We go felling. Remembrance back. Oaken, Oaken. I'll put a Mangle back at this point. I need some gas in the deck. Yeah, Del, if you've missed the games today, they've been a little hit or miss. I'm trying to demonstrate the Jarl strategy, but I'm also not super teched for Jarl here. Or for Victor. I'm also, you know, the recap took less time than I thought it would, so, you know. We're gaming. We have gamed. What's up, Steven? Yeah, Victor is a horrendous matchup, but, like, it's winnable. I now know the way to win it, which is you just block everything and then only send dominated damage. Play 3 Remembrances so you can recur your Oakenholds, which is what I'm about to do here. Like, yes, we have to take a bunch of damage to do it, and then I get to send, I think this is my 3rd dominated Oaken. And we've got more in the deck. We have 2 pummels left in the deck, so I'm going to be able to pummel this CNC. No, we have 1 pummel left. Because I pummeled an Oakenhold. Yeah, the secret into Victor is you never attack them unless you have Dominate or are being disruptive. So that you never give them clash value and you don't let them sift through their deck for gold main estates as much. I think we're fine to take 3 here. Like, don't want to lose an Oaken, but it's fine. Want it to be known that our opponent told us at the start of the game that they brought in the wrong hammer. And if they had brought in the right hammer, we would have been able to fuse an Oaken next turn. So keep that in mind. Our opponent boarded wrong, and so we lost an Oakenold. Let's see, maybe we're fine. All right, we still have one in the deck. We still have a Remembrance. I get to CNC here. We are threatening lethal. We don't have the Tunic, so I don't get to IP this Crumble, but we'll be fine either way. Opponent can just fold the hand, and that's fine. I Arsenal a Pummel, and then I will get to do it again later. We have Mangle left in the deck. Yeah, I just get to pummel this dominated Oakenold. So this is how you beat Victor. You just have to draw really well and execute a plan. Boo. Why is it relevant? All right, everyone. Thank you all for hanging out today. I hope you enjoyed my very brief tournament report, much shorter than I thought it would be, that led into just a bunch of grinding a matchup that doesn't matter. That is your plan. If I was building this for a Nationals, I would be going down on blues. So I would cut, I think, probably my channel mounts and my Ice Lock Glaze. I would want Sigil of Solace, and I would want Fiddler's Green. At least Sigil for the Victor matchup, because it does just let you convert hands better as you're trying to thin your deck. Like, instead of just putting 12 in front of a Miller's Grindstone, you also you get to gain life instead. Build this deck slightly differently, but that is the strategy you're trying to implement into Victor, is just block down. Like you see, we went 50% into games today, which is much better than Victor statistically does if you're checking Talishar stats. I'll be back tomorrow playing Majin's Acilio list, playing Old Aurora, but Acilio instead. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you had a great day. Until the next time I see you, take care.